Hello, my name is Morgan Potter, and I will be sharing my math family talk with you today. First, I would like to share the age group that I am specifically focused on, which is 15 months to 2 years old, and this presentation will mostly be focusing on connecting with families of children around those ages. When we begin to build relationships with families, I believe it is very important to realize that this is like any other relationship. We must be intentional with the way that it is created and established. However, like every relationship, there is consistent behaviors that are needed to continue the connection for the duration of the relationship. With that said, I have made a goal to use the first month of being the children's teacher to establish relationships with the parents. This will be done first using a Meet the Teacher document that will be sent out via email and printed copy to ensure access to all caregivers of the children I'm working with. The document will include information about me personally, professionally, and welcome interaction from the caregivers that I am sharing this with by inviting them to an open house that will be hosted within the first week of school. So not only are they learning about me, but they're also understanding that there are ways that they can introduce themselves, be able to discuss any concerns or expectations in person, and have the ability to meet one another if they desire. Upon completion of the open house, I also make it a priority to have interactions conducted via telephone, maybe at pickup or on an email. I put on a biweekly basis just because life can get really busy, and I think that would be the bare minimum of communication. But ideally, I would like to do it weekly. And this really just allows for consistent communication and really ensuring that the caregivers feel comfortable bringing up any concerns. There's already an established communication that's occurring, so they don't have to make a special meeting. There's an avenue that they can be communicating any concerns or maybe something they're really impressed with or something they really like that we did in that week. This just really, I have found in any relationship, if there is communication occurring consistently, that the people in the relationship understand that that is a place and time they can discuss any concerns or things that are going well. And obviously, if it's telephone or email, this is done in the comfort of their own home. Meetings are also welcome, but this type of like weekly communication will be done um, in different locations. Okay, so questions that I will be asking caregivers within the open house to really gain an understanding of their values and their culture are seen on the screen. The first one is, what is a tradition in your household that you are proud of? I think this is valuable because while there might be a tradition that they only do on Christmas or a different holiday that they celebrate, there also might be a tradition that they do every week. Like maybe every Friday they have pizza night, and that's time that the family can get together. So I think this gives you a little insight into the family and what they value as important or highlight of their time together. Additionally, I believe it is important to know who lives in the household. So this question might direct the conversation elsewhere. Maybe if they don't live with the child's other parent, it could lead to where does that parent live? Does the child see them? Etc. Just so we know who the child is spending time with. Maybe there are grandparents in the home. It's just good to get a whole picture of what the child is experiencing when they go home. A question that I find valuable is, what do you desire from me? I think this shows a lot of their values and beliefs of what a teacher should provide in a child's life. Sometimes a child or a family will look to a teacher to be more of a friend and a trusting adult in the child's life. Sometimes it is the belief of the family that they should be an authoritarian figure and really provide guidelines and rules that the child must follow. So, depending on their views of the teacher, there are going to be different ways that they expect the teacher to handle different challenging behaviors. So, I think it can be really valuable to ask that question up front instead of having to deal with it when the challenging behaviors do occur. Additionally, I believe that asking what their experience incorporating math and literacy in the home has looked like in the past can give you an insight into what they've already tried, if they have a positive or negative relationship with trying to incorporate these concepts, and maybe they have no experience at all, so they might need more of a fundamental guidance of how to implement that in the home. Lastly, a question I would be sure to ask is how much time they usually get to spend with their child in a week. So if I am providing strategies to all caregivers, or maybe I personalize them a little bit, I would keep in mind that some caregivers don't have a lot of time with their children. Maybe they're working multiple jobs, or the child has siblings with sports that they must attend throughout the week and stuff like that. So really trying to be mindful and considerate of what time they do have available, and not all of that time they'll probably want to dedicate to academia. So just really keeping that in mind and understanding the whole picture of what the families are experiencing. These questions help understand the culture and beliefs of the families, which directly relates to culturally responsive teaching. According to Early Childhood Learning and Knowledge Center, with no date specified, states that implementing a curriculum responsively means including the backgrounds and home experiences of all the children and providing children with opportunities to learn about other cultures. So with the knowledge of what cultures and backgrounds they're coming from, I can embed that into the curriculum I am presenting and really try to relate to what they're familiar with and expand their beliefs and their familiarities with the cultures of their peers. Additionally, understanding the culture of a family can validate parents and caregivers by acknowledging that their values are seen and important, they will be supported, and they can be interwoven into their child's academic experiences. And in doing this, this builds like a mutual respect among the teacher and the caregiver to collaborate towards the child's growth. So if the caregivers understand that the teacher is investing enough to see where they're at and what they believe and what they want to happen, they're also more likely to invest a little bit in supporting the teacher's efforts towards development within the child's academic career. Next, let's talk a little bit about the cognition concepts that will be presented with the age group I am working with. So we will be looking at exploration and discovery. This can be done by labeling things that are happening in their environment, really focusing on cause and effect, allowing them to explore the classroom independently. This happens a lot within sensory bins. If they are splashing in water, they're learning what happens when that occurs. Maybe they'll get splashed. Also, in the leisure activity zones that are more child-led, they're able to engage in a little bit of discovery by trying new toys or new ideas within the materials that are presented to them. Additionally, they are exploring memory, which can be practiced by doing things more than once, or maybe hiding items or faces, like playing peekaboo, stuff like that. Really trying to remember, like, if I can't see an item, it does still exist, and that object permanence is really going into practice along with some other subdomains within memory. Reasoning and problem solving is being practiced as we explore shape sorters and more of those kind of structured activities. They're really trying to problem solve so that they can get the shape in the right hole, or so that if there's not enough of something, they can get more, or something like that. Additionally, there is emergent mathematical thinking and imitation and symbolic representation and play. Within all of these concepts, I have made a personal goal to continually be reflecting on their engagement in the ways that I'm presenting the concepts and adjusting my behavior accordingly, while also just taking a look at the children in my class that might need additional support or an expansion on the concept that it might be targeted to their age group. So maybe one child might not be grasping it as much, it might need a little more practice or more of that elementary presentation of, for example, the object permanence. Maybe they really need like a ball drop, whereas someone else might need something to be put away in a cabinet for a little bit and then be like, oh, I wonder where this is, and try to remember what it appears to be. That's a very minute example, but really just being able to reflect on where the children are at. I really like this quote from a video within this module that was made by Head Start, Early Childhood Learning and Knowledge Center in 2023, which shares the idea that math is not as hard as you think it is. So maybe math is easy because it is everywhere. It's just how you're talking to your children. I really think this is a valuable idea to share with parents, because sometimes when we provide strategies, it seems to them as a to-do list, or it could be like one more thing to add to what I have to do at night when I get home from work. I'm already exhausted. I don't want to have to make this big ol' activity just so I can try to do your job. That can be an idea that some parents might have. So I think that it's really important that we focus on how easy it is to expand the math or cognitive development of children by just adding in an extra sentence into that interaction we're already having. So with that said, the strategies that I will recommend to the families about math and uh, math concepts is, do you encourage your child to splash in the bathtub? This is an easy addition to bath time. We're already in the bathtub. Might as well let our kids make a tiny bit of a mess so that they can see that when they put their hand or their leg into the water, there is an effect that their actions are causing, which is splashing water. And maybe that might even be enjoyable for them, that they want to continue to do. Along with bath time, on the bottom right corner of the screen, you'll see, is there anything in the house your child can scoop and dump? This might be scooping a cup in the bathtub, or it might be a sensory bin you already have made with some rice and some spoons. But if they're engaging in a repetitive behavior, they are continuing to understand the cause and effect or problem-solving skills that they are practicing within that task. Additionally, a strategy parents and families can use is, can your child help clean the counter with you? While the child probably is not efficiently cleaning the counter, then being able to imitate the tasks that their caregivers are engaging in is a valuable skill, because they will use imitation along the road as they continue to develop. Lastly, a strategy that I thought of is, what do you say when your child's plate is empty? This is specifically taken from a math concept or cognitive concept with the age group I'm working with, that talks about all done and more and less, and really talking about those quantitative skills. And if you're already sitting at the table, you're already talking about food, you can just add one last sentence that looks like, your plate is empty. It looks like you're all done with your food. Looks like I have some more food than you. I need to keep eating. Those small sentences can add value into the experience by expanding and developing the growth of your child's cognitive or mathematic skills. These are the references I used within this presentation, and I really am looking forward to hearing different strategies and concepts that you all are sharing within your videos. Thank you.